What would you do if the place meant for prayer no longer felt holy? What if Jesus' strongest anger was not toward sinners, but toward those who misused God's house? What if this moment in the temple was meant to confront us, not just history? After entering Jerusalem, Jesus went straight to the heart of the city's spiritual life, the temple. Luke 19:45-48 records a moment that surprises many readers. The same Jesus who welcomed children, healed the sick, and wept over Jerusalem now acts with unmistakable authority. This was not a loss of control. It was a deliberate confrontation. The temple was meant to be a place where heaven and earth met. It represented God's presence among his people. Pilgrims came from far away to pray, to offer sacrifices, and to seek forgiveness. Yet when Jesus entered, what he saw did not reflect that sacred purpose. Merchants had filled the courts. Money changers conducted business loudly. The outer courts, especially the court of the Gentiles, had become crowded with trade and profit-making. What should have been a space for prayer had turned into a marketplace. The atmosphere of reverence was replaced by noise, negotiation, and distraction. Jesus responded decisively. Luke tells us he drove out those who were selling, declaring, "My house shall be a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of robbers." This statement was not spontaneous anger. It was a prophetic judgment, echoing words from Isaiah and Jeremiah. Jesus was not condemning commerce itself, but corruption of purpose. The issue was not activity, but priority. The temple leaders had allowed profit to replace worship. They had turned access to God into a system of control and convenience. Sacrifices approved by the authorities were sold at inflated prices. Currency exchange came with unfair fees. What was meant to help worshippers had become a burden, especially for the poor. Jesus' actions revealed something important about his character. He is gentle with the broken, but firm with those who exploit faith. He is patient with sinners, but confrontational towards systems that distort God's heart. His anger was not self-centered. It was rooted in love for God's holiness and compassion for people who were being pushed aside. This moment also exposes the danger of religious familiarity. The leaders who worked daily in the temple no longer saw its corruption. Routine had replaced reverence. Tradition had become more important than truth. When Jesus disrupted their system, they felt threatened, not convicted. Luke notes that the chief priests, scribes, and leaders began seeking a way to destroy him. The confrontation in the temple was not just symbolic, it was the final trigger. Jesus had challenged their authority publicly and exposed their misuse of power. Yet they could not act immediately because the people were hanging on his words. While opposition grew, Jesus continued to teach daily in the temple. This detail matters. He did not cleanse the temple and leave it empty. He reclaimed it for its true purpose. Teaching, truth, and transformation followed confrontation. Judgment was not the end. Restoration was the goal. This scene invites us to reflect deeply. The temple was once a building. Today, Scripture teaches that God's dwelling place is among his people. If Jesus were to examine the spaces where we claim to meet God, our hearts, our communities, our worship, what would he find? Have distractions crowded out devotion? Have habits replaced holiness? Have comfort and convenience taken priority over prayer and obedience? These are uncomfortable questions, but necessary ones. Jesus' cleansing of the temple reminds us that God cares deeply about how he is worshipped. He desires sincerity, humility, and reverence. He does not tolerate systems that use faith for personal gain or status. True worship is never about control, it is about surrender. This passage also reveals the cost of truth. Jesus knew that confronting corruption would lead to rejection. Still he acted. Obedience mattered more than safety. Faithfulness mattered more than approval. His authority came not from human permission, but from his identity as the Son of God. The people who listened to Jesus were drawn not just to his words, but to his authenticity. He spoke with clarity and conviction. His actions matched his message. In a world full of empty religion, truth stood out. The temple cleansing challenges us to consider how easily sacred things can be misused. Religious language, traditions, and symbols can all lose their meaning when separated from genuine devotion. Jesus did not come to preserve appearances. He came to restore purpose. There is also hope in this passage. Jesus did not abandon the temple. He did not give up on worship. He reclaimed it. His desire was not destruction, but renewal. Even his strongest correction was motivated by love. This reminds us that God's discipline is never pointless. When he confronts, it is to heal. When he exposes, it is to restore. When he disrupts, it is to realign. Luke ends this scene by noting that Jesus taught daily while the leaders watched and plotted. Two responses to truth stood side by side, hunger and hostility. Some leaned in, others pulled away. The same Jesus produced radically different reactions. That choice remains today. When confronted with truth, we can resist or we can respond. We can defend our systems or we can open our hearts. We can cling to comfort or we can allow God to cleanse what no longer honors him. Jesus at the temple is not just a historical moment. It is a mirror. It reflects our priorities, our worship, and our willingness to let God take first place. The house of God was meant to be a place of prayer for all nations. That mission still stands. Worship that honors God always creates space for others, not barriers. It draws people closer, not pushes them away. As we reflect on this powerful moment, we are reminded that following Jesus involves more than admiration. It involves transformation. It invites us to allow him to enter every part of our lives, even the areas we protect most. Thank you for watching this video on Holy Path Insights. If this message challenged or encouraged you, please like the video, follow the channel, and share it with others. Your support helps us continue exploring Scripture with honesty and depth.